On November 4, 1979, the United States Embassy in Tehran was seized by militants in the name of Iran's new leader, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. For the next 444 days, it was the scene of captivity for 49 Americans, including Embassy Press Attaché Barry Rosen. He describes how he was taken hostage.
One young man, looking rather ferocious at that time, started to kick the door down. This person said to me in a loud voice in Farsi, "You are under arrest. You're a member of the nest of spies. You're going to come with me."
The acting U.S. ambassador at the time, Bruce Langan, was also taken hostage. In hindsight, he says the close U.S. relationship with the Shah of Iran, widely unpopular, set the stage for what happened.
We had done things differently. Yeah, you can come up with all kinds of scenarios, but I believe myself that it was almost inevitable.
A celebration in Algiers on November the 1st, where Iran's Prime Minister Mehdi Barzani was photographed meeting with U.S. National Security Advisor Zbigniew Brzezinski, pushed the situation over the edge, according to Victor Tomseth, who was a political officer at the embassy.
I'm convinced to this day that it was that picture that was the catalyst for the student group that carried out the attack on the embassy.
The U.S. diplomats spent nearly 15 months confined in the embassy, the foreign ministry, and other Tehran locations. In the U.S., Americans hung yellow ribbons to show solidarity, also putting pressure on President Jimmy Carter to act. Months later, the U.S. mounted a rescue mission. A dust storm turned the operation into a disaster, killing 8 servicemen. The mission was aborted. Barry Rosen says that the U.S. made several mistakes, including not closing the embassy after an earlier takeover attempt in February 1979.
We should have shut down the embassy after February 14th and said to the Iranians, "When you want us back, we'll be back."
Bruce Langan says decision-makers in Washington were not paying attention to the detailed reports the embassy was providing about the deteriorating situation in Iran. Washington was paying attention to the Cold War at Moscow, according to Rosen.
We're still worried about the Soviets. We had listening posts in the embassy. And that, too, I think the administration was more important than bilateral relations or the bodies that were in Tehran.
Bruce Langan says he spoke with Foreign Minister Ibrahim Yazdi late on November the 4th about the situation.
I had a telephone conversation that night, first day, when he told me, "Look, we'll resolve this by morning." And I said to him, "Okay, what am I going to do? What are you going to do with me?" And he said, "Well, why don't you go down into the diplomatic reception rooms and find a place to sleep there."
It was a nap that lasted nearly 15 months. In November 1980, President Carter lost his re-election bid. On January 20, 1981, Ronald Reagan was inaugurated as President of the United States. On the same day, Bruce Langan and 51 other Americans were freed. Some 30 years later, the United States and Iran are still at odds. Jeffrey Young, VOA News.